Today we're looking at the tank hangar from Metal Gear Solid 1 for PlayStation. Almost immediately they let you know that pushing up against walls will show you what's ahead of you or interesting camera angles that will give you hints at the next place that Snake should hide in. They give you this area of 4 boxes. Only thing that's changing between them is where the placement of puddles are. Touching a puddle will alert enemies. And they give you another side to check out for optional stuff, but it just gives you more chances to learn that if Snake presses up against the wall, not only is he less visible, but the camera will maybe show a new hiding place or a secret item or an enemy patrol pattern that you should be aware of in that position. Pressing up against the forklift shows whoever stepped out of the elevator, for example. After a few minutes, the elevator comes down automatically, and the player needs to sneak around a third enemy and then get onto the elevator. So that's a tiny little tutorial area they gave the player just to make sure that they knew the basic mechanics of the game. And if they get caught there, they learn about what happens when they get caught. If they alert an enemy to a position, they have to learn how to hide pretty quickly. It's very confined, but yet very simple and also not too difficult. The player tries to make it through quickly, or if it's experienced or just lucky, they'll make it to the elevator and the elevator won't come down right away. The next section, Snake automatically in a cutscene pulls out his scope, which teaches you to use it yourself in first person, and looks for the 2 different areas you can go in. The player can either go upstairs to go through a ventilation shaft that's being patrolled in front of, or then go to a left and get behind one that's... They don't show you exactly where it is, and Snake doesn't seem to be able to see it from where he is, and he complains that he can't see it. But this is the kind of let the player know, this is the harder route. Maybe don't go this way. So you have an easy route and a hard route. The hard route is covered in searchlights, which will automatically make Snake get found. The easy route mostly has nothing, but still it will teach you some things. There's footprints that can be left in the snow for enemies to potentially see you at. They give you a ration just out in the open to try to encourage you to come that way. And both ways will teach you about security cameras, which are easier than the sentries, as they don't patrol and move, but they're more difficult because of the placement they have. So Snake can just head up the stairs and crawl right into there, or if the enemy's coming, he might need to head the other way and hide behind a pillar, which will give a good camera position to show which way you can go. If you do the hard route, there's chaff grenades that reward you inside the searchlights on your way through. These chaff grenades will then knock out the security camera on this side, which will give you stun grenades, which can then knock out the patrolling guard who's covering the ventilation shaft on the left. A curious player or someone who's been caught and needs to hide might also find the location of a SOCOM pistol inside of the truck. The truck is just completely optional, but if you played the previous Metal Gear games, you might know that the pistol in previous ones, I think in Metal Gear 1, there was a pistol in the back of the truck. That's totally optional, and like the lamp in our last video on Link to the Past, if you don't pick it up there, you'll have other opportunities to pick up the pistol because it is a mandatory item. Kojima does some funny stuff with rats doing the alert thing to show you which way to get through the vents. And there are now 2 different ways to enter this tank hangar. You can enter on the 2nd floor if you went the easy way, which most players probably did. Immediately you get chaff grenades because you didn't get them outside, presumably. This teaches you how to get around the camera again. Just another area, except opposite type geometry. Now you're on an inside angle, outside you're on an outside angle. Right away there's a door with a 2 on it, and if you press against it, it'll show that there's a big 2 on it. Nothing happens, but this will definitely give a hint to a player that you can't get through this door, and for some reason there's a 2. What does that 2 mean? You're not sure, maybe. But here's an open door where a green light on it where the light was red on the previous door, which means there's a difference. Like this door's unlocked, red means the door's locked. This bigger room over here on the side teaches the player how to hide. There's a lot of good hiding spots in here, and cameras that if you press against let you see who's outside. There's another camera in here, and just gives the player one more test to get around it, and another spot to find the SOCOM pistol, which is totally optional. Other side of the 2nd floor has a 1 level door. The player can press against it to go look at the camera ahead. Pressing against where that is will show them the stairs and the camera position, and then they can go down the stairs and wait for the elevator to be free. So after seeing this a few times, the player probably realizes that there's something up with these doors that have numbers on them, and you need some kind of ability that is leveled by numbers to get through here. let's say the player doesn't go to B1 like they're supposed to. Let's say they explore and go to B2. The level designers let you do that. And B2 is loaded with doors you cannot open. There are level 1, 2, 3, and 5 doors, and you cannot go into any of them. So the only place the player can go is this room with no door on it, which also contains the SOCOM pistol. This is the third place where the pistol is. And there's a level 4 door in the bottom. So after this should definitely hammer into the player's head that you cannot go through doors with numbers on them, and if there's no door and the door's wide open, then you can go in that spot. And this should get their brain moving to how the level design is going to work from now on. Most of this game is governed by doors that have key cards with certain levels on them, and those gate which access players go arbitrarily just based on the number the designers decide to give you. So the only thing in that room was the SOCOM pistol. If you decided to explore, they rewarded you by giving you a pistol early and made you feel special. The pistol's actually mandatory, so you're going to have to go get that. The player afterwards goes to B1, or let's say they went to B1 right away. They'll find a long hallway that serves no purpose other than to funnel them into a linear section in which they'll have to do a gunfight. There's some little Easter eggs in here, but as far as level design go, it's mostly just trying to push you towards you need to go. It's kind of comical to look at, to be honest. So after this, Snake finds the DARPA chief. A cutscene happens. He gets broken out of prison by a mysterious guard. Turns out to be Meryl. And then they put you into a linear gunfight. Now, if the player already has the SOCOM pistol, they'll just have ammunition in front of them, and they will be able to just start shooting soldiers right away. If the player did not get the SOCOM pistol up until this point, if they missed the previous 3 opportunities, the pistol is now here, and those other places where there was a pistol are now replaced with something else. For example, that second one on the second floor of the building, that one becomes the thermal goggles, and the one in the truck becomes ammo, and the one downstairs becomes ammo. Before you leave in the first basement floor, you now have a level 1 card that they show you. There's items here. There's a level 6 door that will beep at you now angrily to show you that your card's not there in case you are trying to use the card incorrectly. It's one more signal to give you. And you can now open the few level 1 doors that exist. The only level 1 door that exists on this level is one that has, on this floor, has C4 in it. C4 will open the next place you need to go. Kind of like Link to the Past, again, another comparison between the games. They both have destructible walls that have both audio cues when the player attacks a wall, or a visual cue. If you look at the texture, it'll be slightly different. It's very similar to Link to the Past, a lot of this opening. If you go to this spot right here where the SOCOM pistol used to be, now there's just 2 sets of bullets rather than 1 set of bullets. So the player can now get some grenades, get some C4, and now they can blow up some walls. There are 2 hidden walls at the north side of there. It just gives you more grenades and more more pistol bullets and more C4 because you spent C4 on there. So following this path and learning how C4 doors work gets you to the boss fight. The player encounters Revolver Ocelot, learns some basic movement. Hopefully they learn how to run and shoot. This game constantly wants you to call in to your handlers for help, and maybe they can tell you that you can hold down a button so you can shoot and run at the same time. You now have a level 2 card. This will let you get out of this won't let you get out of the door right in front of you. That's that level 4 door that you saw earlier that you couldn't get through. Maybe the player will remember that. Either way, they can't get through it. Yet again, every time they give you a card, you almost immediately run to a door that you cannot open, which lets you know how that mechanic works. You then need to go the other way because you know you can't go that way. Now on basement level 2, there's one more door you can open with the level 2 card, so you can go pick up the stuff you need. But if you call any of your help, they'll tell you that you need to get in contact with Marrow. If you do try to use the level 2 door, which is optional, you'll run to the first set of lasers. This is an early opportunity to learn with how lasers work. If you found the SOCOM pistol early and went to the second floor, you could have got the thermal scope, which is optional, which will let you see it. Otherwise, it's an opportunity to learn how to use the cigarettes to see the lasers, which will come up again soon. Once you're on the first floor, you can go up to the second floor again and finally open that level 1 door. It'll give you the cardboard box item and some chaff grenades to make easy work of these security cameras. So security cameras aren't so tough. They give you a lot of chaff grenades in areas where they are. If you look around, you'll notice now there's a guard patrolling on the second floor. There wasn't one earlier. And that large door, which had the room that we hid in earlier, is no longer open. Now it's locked and the thing is red. Before it was open, so the opportunity to get the thermal scope is now missed unless you come back with a level 4 key card, which won't happen until much later. So you either need to backtrack or wait until halfway through the game where Snake is forced to be in this building. level 1 or floor 1 is a level 1 door that lets you go in with the card and find a sleeping soldier once again, which you can crawl to get a silencer. After a while, they'll tell you to call Meryl. You have to look on the back of the CD case, which is crazy, to fourth wall break your way into calling her. And then they make you wait around again, just like the elevator scene in the first area. After waiting around and forcing the player just to get better at stealth by waiting around and potentially get caught and have some tension, they'll let you into this last challenge of the Tank Hangar. So this area is filled with a bunch of lasers. They move this time, unlike the one in the basement, and they move at different speeds. So they'll also, if you're stuck on it and you keep dying, you can call it for help, and your weapon specialist will tell you that maybe if you smoke or had some cigarettes, you can do it, which you already know you have cigarettes. They pointed it out in the cutscene, and it was also one of the 2 items you started the game off with that you had to have, was the scope and then the cigarettes. So they definitely try to force you to remember this, and I don't know, they think it's really cool that you can do this, so they would definitely want you to do that. Once you use the level 2 card, you can finally go out and the level's over. Thank you for watching.